Comedy is extremely difficult. It's all about the storytelling. I mean, look at how many bad comedy movies there are because they don't have a story. When you look at comedies that have a storyline or a situational element that's like, take Step Brothers. You know, it's funny because of the situation. There's grown men that have to live with each other, but they're acting like children. You know, that's funny. And the things that come out of that are funny because at the root, it's a good story. And just because you have something that's, you know, whether it be a sketch, I mean, even you look at some of the greatest sketches, there's still a through line story that these characters are going on an arc. And weaker comedies don't have that. When I was in college, if I had a comedy partner, it'd be Ryan Callahan. Also, Ryan, Megan, congratulations on the engagement. Thank you for letting me take the photos for the surprise.
Take it, boy.
Yeah, I was crying from the beginning. I kind of messed it up. Did you see?
I just showed. I'll show the photo. When we were in school, we would always be riffing back and forth, making voices, making jokes. I mean, we would never. I almost slipped into one. We would never be out of a bit, and sometimes you would never know when you're in or out of a bit. But when he was younger, you know, he and I both watched, you know, Mr. Show, Whitest Kids You Know, Chappelle Show, like all these great comedies and sketch shows. And he had done one where him and a buddy were conjoined twins. So I said, why don't we do that for a project? But let's spin it like a documentary. There was that movie with Matt Damon and I forget the other actor who were conjoined, and then they got separated, and then I think they went, you know, it was, but we said, why don't we do that at school? But we had to raise the stakes. And whenever you do a scene, I know from acting, you should always question where you can put the stakes. The high stakes you can have are life or death. So if it's justifiable as an actor or as a director, if you're working with an actor, raise the stakes to that level and see what performance you get. It may or may not work. But we needed to make ourselves invincible. You know, we could do anything. So we made it so our characters could do anything. There wasn't anything we couldn't do, which led to a slew of jokes. And, you know, take, for instance, our morning routine.
That anyone would go through. Normally brush our teeth.
Take a shower.
Get dressed.
Eat some breakfast.
Write a book.
Film a television show.
Practice yoga and meditation. We tend to do that a lot.
Compete a triathlon.
Yeah, normally after the triathlon we get hungry, so we normally enter a food contest. Kind of like a brunch-lunch hybrid. Yeah.
We just do what we want whenever we want.
We basically just do what we want.
We basically run our own lives together as one team, fulfilling all of our goals and dreams.
Separately, together.
By 10 o'clock. Some mornings I just wish we had more things to do, because I feel like we should be fulfilling ourselves to the highest potential. And, you know, some mornings we only do like 8 things, and we could really be doing more.
I mean, at least 9.
You know, it's that no one's actually able to do those things, but that's what makes it funny. I mean, we compared ourselves to some of the greatest people that ever lived, and you know, like when we compared ourselves to the Golden State Warriors.
I mean, we can't turn on First Take on ESPN in the morning without hearing a great debate of who's a greater team, us, the New York Yankees, or, you know, the Golden State Warriors of the past 2 years.
Yeah, they're doing pretty good.
They are doing great, but are they doing on our level? Probably not.
It's arguable.
It's arguable for sure. Makes good TV.
You know, it allowed us to be very creative and very improvisational. And we shot the whole thing outside for the handheld shots, which Carrie Quinn helped us with. Just on a tripod, we had lav mics up. I think we had a mic each, or we just shared one, I'm not sure. But we would improvise these scenes and just talk and bounce off each other. And I mean, we cracked up. I think the best was the ending of the first episode where we were in like the bed setting, sitting there, and we just riffed off each other.
Justin and Ryan, whoosh, everyone else, you know. Justin and Ryan, everyone else, you know. Most people, us. That was golden.
And I mean, it was genuine laughter at the end, and that's something that we always want to keep pure, because humor should always be at the heart, and nothing we were doing was to, make people upset. Situationally, yes, that is a disability, but we are looking at it from the perspective of, look at what we can do. We are unstoppable. There are no bounds. We were able to do everything, if not more. And by making these stakes of us being the greatest students that ever graced campus, as pretentious as that may be, it was necessary for us to be able to do the jokes that we wanted to do. When we had, it was my roommate at the time, Gio, and my good friend Alex, she and him riffed off. She was our childhood best friend, and he was our, didn't like us. And, they improvised and came up with some of the funniest things ever. I know, I don't know who said it first, but we were in the theater, the show Peter Pan, except it was Peter Pan's, the plural.
Then had to change the name of the show to Peter Pan's, the plural.
And they were able to go back and forth, and I'll just show you that scene.
The production team tried to fit them in the harness that they needed to use, which obviously they could not. So they both were like, it's okay, we got this. The song for Peter Pan comes on. All of a sudden, they rise into the air, slowly but dramatically. Pixie dust, sprinkles, everywhere.
You know what happened? It just flew. It just hovered there. Like there was real pixie dust on the damn stage or something. I don't get it. The whole crowd was in awe. I could never told nobody about it. They wouldn't believe it. Until scientists later on came up and said, damn, these flew.
They flew into the audience, around the theater. It was amazing. They brought the crowd to tears in just pure joy. And after that, the show became so successful, they played it everywhere. Chicago, New York, LA. And then that spun off into a cooking show called Peter's Pans.
So in that scene, we kind of referenced after they gave their interviews, I forget who went first, but, what was said. And they were able to just go off each other and create, some of the funniest things. I mean, the fact that we didn't need a harness, the fact that I think Gio at one point took a spin and was like, they took my role. I was supposed to be the first black Peter Pan. And it was absolutely hysterical.
That's kind of one story I don't like to talk about because, the guy that fell out the harness, that was me. They were holding a goddamn harness. They wanted that spot from day one. I knew it. The look in their eyes. They wanted to be Peter Pan. The first black Peter Pan. And they took that from me. That was my role. My role. They were the best damn Peter Pan ever.
The things that he did, he even brought up us dunking on him in basketball, which was a nod to Callahan. He played for the basketball team, one of the great players that went through the school.
Good, yes. Yes. Do I want to be them? Yes. Do I go to sleep at night sometimes, have nightmares waking up that Justin and Ryan are both dunking on me with their third leg in my face? Yes. All the time. All the time. But am I jealous? No.
Also, shout out to the Bulldogs basketball team. Thank you for making me an honorary member, for being Callahan's +1 to all the functions. But they were able to improvise and create things organically because we didn't have a script. But we also did have an idea of where we were going with it. Now, that's not how you should always approach it, but it was a documentary. So we did have this loose, organic style that we were going for. And as we continued to find jokes and take things to the nth degree, we began to find these core values that we wanted to explore. And whenever you take a situation, whether it be, two people that are conjoined tackling university with no bounds in a limitless manner, or whether you take a singular character who is sitting alone in their apartment trying to figure out what it is that makes the world go round, and you take the dark comedy approach, or you make jokes that are, on edge, or you begin to bring in all these influences of other genres of like horror comedy, horror thriller. As long as you have a story, you have a beginning, a middle, and an end. You have that destination you want to get. If you have that and your audience is able to follow that, the humor in the situation will come out of that. The very beginning of the film is just us brushing our teeth for a little too long. And, we were told not to keep it that long, but next time you brush your teeth, just think about how long you're brushing your teeth. And if there's two people, I guess it's double funny.
You get the whole thing so that it's like fresh everywhere, like all over. You get fresh lips and you get a fresh mouth.
Yeah, a lot of people ask us what showering's like.
But it's just focus on your story, focus on the nuances of life, and don't be afraid to make fun of yourself, to make fun of humanity, because we are here for but a short time, and for thousands of years we've laughed at ourselves. And if we stop laughing, the world will just be a dark, cold place. And it's comedy that brings light, it's comedy that brings the truth, it's comedy that allows people to talk and to spread ideas. Next time you watch stand-up, try to look at the message. Sometimes agendas are pushed, but try to look at what a comedian is trying to say. Through their jokes, whether you may look at them good or bad, it is objective. There's always going to be someone that says, that upset me. But does the squeaky wheel always get the grease? I'm not sure. If you got a joke, write it, test it with your friends, but don't be scared to practice comedy, because the more jokes you tell, the more jokes that don't hit, the more you'll learn your craft, and the more you'll learn to be able to create things that are trying to better humanity. Let me get a new. I hope you've enjoyed these stories. As for this location, I don't know if I'll be back to film it, but I wanted to take the opportunity to create something in a little bit more of a professional looking studio environment, so as to challenge myself for the craft. I will be continuing to make content. I will be continuing to share stories, but it'll be ever evolving. I will be shooting some in my apartment. I may be shooting some on location places. I'd like to begin interviewing people and really trying to make content that is meaningful. I have a few short films I'm working on soon, and I have a lot of content that I've had that I'd like to share. One of my next videos I will be doing is about books and why I don't think you should buy them. So if you've liked these videos, please share them. If you like what I'm doing, let me know. But as always, if you have a story and you are a story, make sure you tell it, make sure you write it down, and make sure you wake up every day with a smile on your face, thankful you're here, and grab your camera, grab your pencil, grab whatever it is you do, and do it better. And as my school's motto, which I don't know if I've actually ever heard anything better so far, be who you are and be that well. Should I exit? Okay. Be who you are and be that well. Seriously though, like, do it.
How about your friends drinking hard?